to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm doing a demo on Juvia's Place new Warrior 3 palette. That took me like 4 takes to be able to say Warrior 3 correctly. But yes, I was so kindly gifted this in the mail for PR. I also got their Nomad palette that I'm going to be playing around with too. So when I get to that, I'll be sure to film that so you guys can kind of see my first time playing with it. This is my first time playing with this palette. I used every single color except for this matte blue and the matte green. This is like my third attempt at this. I had an idea in mind with like the pink, purple, and this blue color. So like I did use it off camera, like that footage was trashed. But this is really nice and pigmented. And then the same thing with the green. I tried it on my lower lash line. It just wasn't vibing with what was going on. So again, that footage is trashed, but this green is just as pigmented as the rest of the shadows. So just keep in mind that the blue and green matte colors in this palette are going to have the same quality as the rest of the matte palette. I did get around to using this shimmer, but not a ton. So, but everything else is showcased really well, in case you couldn't tell. But I'm excited to dive into this. My first experience with Juvia's Place was the Fumi collection. So if you haven't seen that video, it'll be linked down below and then probably like also up over there. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this demo started. The base I have down is the Anastasia eye primer. I do have a whole dedicated video if you want to look on my channel. I compared it to the P. Louise base. But anyways, we are starting off with the hot pink in this palette, and I am patting that on with the Morphe M506. It's really important to use small brushes for these kind of really vibrant makeup looks, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of layering with a bunch of different colors, which I plan on doing. If you use a larger brush, it can be really easy for it to get muddy. It can be done. It's just a lot easier to use smaller brushes like this. So with the formulation of this color, it definitely works best to pat it into place. And then with really light pressure, I'm just working on blending it out. I'm focusing on having more of like a rounded look than a cat eye look, although you could easily make this winged out if you would choose to do so. Now I am picking up the red in the palette, and I'm using the same brush. It's going to be the same blending brush throughout this entire process. And now I'm just filling that red in between the rest of the crease space that we have, but I'm also kind of blending the edges up into the pink. So it's the same deal with the packing motions and then just a very light blending on the edge. Once I have that built up, I'm kind of doing this as a transition / brow bone color. So I am taking the yellow in the palette, same brush. You can see I have half the brush on the pink, half the brush in my brow bone area that hasn't been touched with color yet. And I'm just working on patting and packing this on, lightly blending it out. I am bringing this all the way up to my brow bone just because I thought it would be fun to do. Why not? But as you can see with the yellow, it is definitely a little bit loose. It's not as packed of a pigment as the pink and the red, so I'm definitely having some fallout with the yellow, but that's okay because I can just swipe it away and then just rebuild in the areas that I need to. So kind of in the inner corner there's a lot of yellow fallout. I can just go back in with my pink and touch that up as needed. I am actually cutting my crease in this video. I haven't done it in so long. So an easy way to figure out where you should cut your crease is to just really make sure you're packing whatever you're using. In this case, it's the ABH primer right by your lashes. Look up, roll your eyes around, and you can kind of see a faint line of where that is, and you can use that as a guide. So this wasn't as, it didn't work out as great, so I just added a little bit more. So now I have that really faint line that I can use as a guide. So I am just going to fill the rest of that in with concealer, and I'm doing this to about the halfway point of my eye. When you're working with any kind of pigmented shadow, it can be really easy for your base to kind of turn the color of what is in your crease. So I'm just kind of doing patting motions, picking up more product, doing patting motions, because I don't want my base to be a pink color. I want to keep it as like neutralized as possible. So just picking up a little bit of product at a time and slowly working your way is about the best way to do it. Once I have that down, I just kind of pat the edges out with my finger. And now we are going to go into purple. So I'm going back with my 506 brush. It's so weird that I use this as like a liner brush. It's just like what I like to do. So I just kind of pat that right along my lashes. And I am just going to build that up a little bit. And then I'm going to focus on putting the purple into the outer edge of my lid. This is a pretty bright purple. I wish it was just like a little bit deeper. Again, with the same brush, I am just going to pack this purple in and then just using it to try to deepen up the crease. This would work a lot better. Like I said, like if the purple was like a little bit richer or more plummy, this would make a bigger difference in our look. But right now, because it's so light, like the pink and the red, it's just all kind of meshing and blending into one color. And there's not as much of like a difference as what I would like. To fix this, I would just use another purple in my collection. But I'm just using this palette solely just to demo what it looks like on the eyes. So I'm just taking the yellow and just buffing out the edges so I kind of have that yellow glow all the way around to the outer corner. And then I'm just going to go back in with the pink to touch that up. This is where the look comes together. We are taking the shimmery blue and packing that on. So I'm just using a brush and just tapping that right into the tacky base. Again, when you're doing bright, colorful looks, I always like to do my eyes first and then my face, because you do tend to get a lot of fallout, especially when you're doing a cut crease look. A lot of packing, there can be a lot of fallout from shadow. It doesn't matter if it's like loosely packed or not. It's just kind of a matter of fact when it comes to these kind of looks. So I highly suggest that you just do your eyes first and your face later. But this is how the blue is turning out. It is super pigmented and really, really beautiful. I wanted to see if the purpley gray shimmer would deepen this up at all or really make a difference. It didn't really make a huge difference. It is definitely beautiful and it just really made the outer corner of my eye look really, really nice. But it just didn't make that big of a difference for me to really notice. So then I thought, what if I tried doing it as liner? And then this was such a mistake because it was just so messy, because shimmers are a little bit looser packed than like a matte pigment. So I definitely got a lot of fallout doing this, but it kind of gave like a cool silvery effect to my lash line. And as you can see, most of that fallout is the gray eyeshadow color for me trying to use it as liner. Anytime I'm using bright colors or doing a super glam or dramatic look, I definitely like to take my primer and put it on the lower lash line because I want those colors and those pigments to stand out just as much. So I'm just taking a little bit more of the ABH primer and I'm just packing that on my lower lash line, inner corner area, and then I'm just going to blend it out with my beauty sponge. For my waterline, I am taking the LA Girl Neon Shockwave Liner. This is in the shade Vivid. I wish it was a little bit more pigmented. It's nice for like an inexpensive liner. Basically, I like to warm it up on the back of my hand before I go into my waterline. And then I'm just going to apply that and then blend it out with some of shadow. I'm using a Morphe E36, which is like a pencil brush, and I'm just applying that purple shadow. I'm really packing it on in between my lashes, and then I'm also trying to make sure that I connect it to the outer corner of what I did in my upper lid space. So it did go like a tad bit patchy right there, but I mean, purples normally tend to go patchy. So as long as you're just packing it on, it shouldn't be that noticeable unless you're super close to my eyeball like you guys are right now. But yeah, I'm just taking that purple and running it from outer corner to inner corner. Now I switched over to the hot pink color and I'm blending that on top of the purple, again connecting it to my crease and also blending it down. Again, I like doing this before I put foundation and everything on in case there's any fallout. I can kind of get an idea of where I'm going, and the best part is if you accidentally blend your shadow out too much or smoke it out too much, you could just cover it up with concealer. So this is a really good base that we have going so far. Here I'm lastly adding the yellow. Most of this is going to need to be touched up after I put my concealer on, but I just wanted to lay the color down anyways. So we have this really beautiful gradient of starting at yellow in the brow bone and then ending with yellow in the lower lash line. And I'm just obsessed with just fully connecting full circle with my eyeshadows. For a last step with the eyes, I'm just taking that same blue shimmer and I'm just packing it onto the inner corner, and then I am just bringing the pink down a little bit so everything is just connected like in a giant circle. And again, I wanted to pop that inner corner highlight on because I knew that the eyeshadow is a little bit crumbly, so that way it's just easier to clean up instead of having to go back in, take concealer or foundation off and worry about that mess. Trust me, it's just so much easier to do your eyes first. And then I'm also bringing the yellow down into my inner corner too, just because I really liked the effect and thought it looked super cool. Hi everyone, so I just wanted to jump on here really fast because I just got out of the shower and wanted to show you the staining situation so you can see that I definitely have some stains on my eyes. Normally when you're working with eyeshadows that are really pigmented, at least for me personally, I expect there always to be a possibility of staining. So when that happens, I kind of wash my face like 3 or 4 times just to try to get as much off as possible. I use makeup remover before and after my shower, and this is what I'm left with. Like, it is wiping clean as it can under my eyes. That is where I seem to have like the most staining, and that seems to be from the purple. Again, it's right on my waterline up here too, or my lash line I should say. So again, that's where I had the purple. So the purple seems to be the troublemaker in this palette. Normally it's like pinks or reds, but in this case it's the purple. So I just wanted to let you know. So you shouldn't be freaked out with staining. I feel like this is like a huge thing. About a year or so ago, everybody was anti-staining. It's just because there's so much pigment in the formula. So for me, if I know that I'm going to be going to work, or if you're in school or something the next day and you don't really want to walk around with like stained eyelids, just use some concealer and it's fine. You know, when I wake up in the morning, most of this, whatever's left over, should wash off, but I just wanted to come on here and show you what is up. Let's wrap up the video. All right, so this is the completed look. I just threw on my Demi G's by Coco Lashes. I love these. These are super piecey, so when I'm doing really bright rainbow looks, I think that they add a little bit of an edginess factor to the look. So I love taking a little bit of a break from my Ardell Wispies to play around with these lashes. I love them. In case you guys are curious, this palette does retail for $20. So for $20, I don't think that that is that bad of a price if you don't have a lot of rainbow colors in your collection. Right now, the Nomad palette is not currently released as of September 14th. It says coming soon, but I guess that this palette is going to be $20 too. So if you're interested in this one, make sure you subscribe to my channel because this one will be coming out really soon. I also recently did a video with the Peach palette by ColourPop. I'm going to be doing a more wearable look with this palette. So again, if you're interested in any of those, be sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on it. It just got so dark outside because we're about to get hit with a monsoon, so that's fun. But anyways, I really had a lot of fun creating with this palette. I just really missed sitting down and like just cutting out 2 hours to just play around with makeup and create, and that's why I like carving out a lot of time, because I had to scratch 2 different looks to end up with this one. So if you are playing with color or trying out new techniques, don't get frustrated, keep going, power through it, and you will eventually get there. I had so much fun filming this for you guys. I really miss doing this kind of makeup. So yeah, leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see from me next. I would love to put out content that you would like to watch. I'm always open to suggestions. So yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.